This is TechVibe Radio, your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at Compunetics.com, Chorus Call at ChorusCall.com, Highmark at Highmark.com, Huntington Bank at Huntington.com, Kindling at TheKindlingAgency.com, PNC Bank at PNC.com, and Savier at Savier.com. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. Good morning. So glad your dial is set solidly here on TechVibe Radio, and I'm Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Tech Council, bringing you our TechVibe Radio Neighborhood Tour with Huntington Bank. We're always from the Huntington Bank studios. We have been forever. And sometimes we take our studio right to the branch. And I have so much fun doing this because I feel like I'm in the heart of where all the action is. And I can't think of there being a bigger, better, more central heart to Pittsburgh than downtown Pittsburgh itself. And we are at the new branch on Liberty Avenue right next to Market Square. You might have known it as the old McDonald's back in the day. Not anymore. It's this awesome new branch. And I'm talking to Chuck Schons today. Chuck, you're the manager of this branch, and you're letting me in here to interview my guests. So thank you for having me today.
Jonathan, thanks for being here. If you lived in Pittsburgh long enough, it's still known as the old McDonald's. But we're trying to be a trendsetter here. Huntington Bank, yeah, we took residency up here in November, 500 Liberty Avenue in Market Square, at our now flagship branch here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm fortunate enough to be able to run the show down here. Very excited to be part of the downtown community and to continue, hopefully, some transformations that we have been seeing over the last couple of years.
Oh, you guys are, when I saw the headline that you guys were bought the property and we're going to turn it into a branch, I was like, man, you guys are just doubling down on the stuff you guys do. When you guys say you care about community, nothing says care like putting your money where your mouth is and actually taking a building in an area and revitalizing it. And that's what you guys have done. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a beautiful building, tons of energy, tons of lights around it. It's a marquee spot in our city. We want to be able to continue to give back to downtown, to be able to give back to the residents of downtown, the businesses that are here in downtown Pittsburgh. I've been in banking for 12 years, and this is one of the biggest investments that I've seen in, to be able to help rejuvenate, from a banking perspective, be able to rejuvenate what's going on, to be a central part of it.
How cool is it when they tapped you to be the person to lead this branch? Obviously, they have a lot of trust. You're going to make the right moves to make this branch successful. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. But I look forward to be able to continue to help. Outside of my 9 to 5, I do sit on 4 nonprofit boards in and around the city.
Tell me about some of this.
Yeah. Originally, when I started my journey at Huntington Bank, I started over on the north side and eventually came into downtown Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I do work for the North Side Chamber of Commerce.
We know those guys at the Tech Council. We're over there.
As well as the North Side Leadership Conference. So I do spend a lot of time still on the north side. I kid, and that's my 5 to 9. And then I also sit on a board for the Historic Georgetown Development Corporation, as well as the Downtown Pittsburgh Neighbors Alliance.
Well, you're a busy dude.
Yeah, that's what my friends and my family say.
That's called, you're living up to the Huntington mantra there. Yeah. You're giving back. Simple as that. So that's fantastic. And that's what I think really has been separating Huntington apart forever, is the fact that everyone really cares. I know I've done so many of these T&Ts. Everyone I've come across, they have this outside passion,
right? And
I can see that passion come to work. I think it goes back and forth. I think that's across the lines a little bit.
It is. And, I can only do so much in the position that I'm in here, 9 to 5. I run a branch. I manage a team. I help small businesses. I help the neighbors in my community. But I do have the want and the drive to continue to give back to the communities that I live in and that I work in. I just don't want to work in downtown. And it's probably why I was tasked and tapped to be this manager for this location, is that I do continue to give back to the communities. I give back my time and whatever else I can.
Yes, yeah. I think they made a good choice. I'll go on record right now and say, Chuck, I think you're the man for the job.
Appreciate that.
No, that's fantastic stuff. I'm really stoked. Today's guest, I'm very excited about. It's actually someone I've interviewed before in different instances, from her startup to actually being an Athena award finalist. We have Bhavini Patel from Sustainable Pittsburgh. She's the new executive director. She's just great people, and I love what Sustainable Pittsburgh does. I'm all about trying to keep things as clean and efficient as possible. They do so much work in order to keep the downtown area green, but the whole region green.
Right.
So I'm excited to have her stop by today.
Yeah, and I wasn't familiar with Sustainable Pittsburgh up until recently. I did a little bit of just pre-research. So I'm really excited to see what you two have to talk about today, because personally, I'm all about sustainability. I don't like single-use anything.
Right.
So I'm really excited to see what she has going on, what you have in store for her here, to hear a little bit more. And I'm so happy that you're using my space to do it.
Yeah, well, keep listening in. We'll let you hang out and you can learn all about it. I'm very excited to have her go by. Once again, if you go to huntington.com, you can check out what you guys are up to. So much good stuff. Thank you again for having me here, because it's having a blast already.
I appreciate
barely
you being
started
here,
the show.
Yeah, very exciting.
Great stuff. Hey, in case you forgot, this is Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council. Go to pghtech.org. We love helping tech companies succeed, and I'll be right back after this super fast break. A strong work culture is the invisible force that binds employees to each other, to the company, and to their work. It's linked to better business outcomes, happier employees, and increased retention. How we work and where we work continue to evolve in almost every way, yet our human need for connection and purpose remains. Help your employees connect and thrive by evolving your culture to support your team, regardless of how or where they work. So discover how the Kindling Culture Agency can transform your company's culture at sparksomething.big.com. That's the Kindling Culture Agency at sparksomething.big.com. Compunetics is the leading developer of unified voice, video, and data collaboration and conferencing applications for the service provider, government, and unique workflow applications. The Summit Olympus and Evergreen platforms, driven by their encrypted user interfaces, enable powerful and secure collaboration. Combined with world-class support and innovative professional services, Compunetics delivers the right solution every time. Learn more at compunetics.com. Your dial is set to TechVibe Radio. Brought to you by Compunetics, Chorus Call, Highmark, Huntington Bank, Kindling, PNC Bank, and Savier. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. It's a Sunday morning and you are back here with us on Tech Vibe, back as promised, having a great time here at the Huntington Bank in downtown Pittsburgh. In case you don't know, there was that former McDonald's. It was a weird, creepy site back in the day, but Huntington Bank invested some serious time, serious money, serious resources to turn this into their flagship branch. It's one of these key things that I just believe drives vitality in a downtown area. And we're trying to do as much vitality in Pittsburgh as we can. At the Tech Council, we know downtown's our core. We need a good downtown, and Huntington is doing its part. And I love bringing you the show from the branch, where I'm talking to the companies, the people, the places that are all here. And today I have Bhavini Patel, the new Executive Director of Sustainable Pittsburgh. First off, you're no stranger to TechVibe.
I'm so glad to be back.
It's so good to be hanging out with you here today, but I'm just so excited about your new role as Executive Director of Sustainable Pittsburgh. How the heck did that happen?
It's been super fun. And my first day was on the 15th of January. And since then, it's been drinking out of a fire hose, but in the best way possible.
Yeah, totally.
And it's consistent with my passion and commitment to this region.
Totally.
I love Pittsburgh and I love everything that we have to offer. And Sustainable Pittsburgh has been doing this work for over 20 years now. And we have a strong footprint in the region, and some of the things that you talked about, vitality, caring about downtown, caring about the region, we're all about it.
That's why I thought you guys would be perfect guests for this. Not only are you located in downtown, but everything that you guys do is based around making cities vibrant, making them clean and sustainable, equitable, all the good stuff we need if we're going to grow as a region. Because at the Tech Council, we know that without a strong core, tech is not going to happen. The tech ecosystem is dependent upon having a downtown that people want to come to. They can live there, work there, do whatever. And Sustainable Pittsburgh's there, and you're leading that charge in so many ways to make these types of things happen, not just here, but also around in the world in so many ways.
Yeah, I really appreciate you recognizing that, Jonathan, because it really is the essence of what we do. Our core mission really is to empower decision-making that builds a fundamentally equitable, resilient, healthy, and prosperous region. And the way that we do that is essentially through sort of three-pronged approach. We have our peer learning and collaborative problem solving efforts. We have accelerating progress, and we also transition information into action.
I love that. The idea, because we can collect data and pontificate all we want,
Right.
which is great. Hey,
Right.
there's a point for that, but there's the action part. To me, that's what really gets things going. So,
Completely. And getting out there and doing the work.
exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
So a couple of things. We have our Clean Energy Workforce Roundtable, which we convene members, partners, and we ideate and we come up with industry trends and we bring people together to be able to address current problems. And one of the outcomes from that, sort of thinking about the action piece of that, is our career maps, our AI-driven career maps that provide information to people who are trying to upskill or reskill and enter into the clean energy workforce. And when we think about the amount of dollars that are flowing into the region when it comes to new companies coming into the region, people trying to get into these industries and these spaces, Sustainable Pittsburgh is at the forefront of making sure that people have access to the knowledge that they need to not just look at these opportunities as jobs, but long-term family-sustaining careers.
Oh,
That's really
100%.
important to us. And so that's one thing that we're really committed to. We also have really remarkable partners, small, medium, large corporations that we work with through our
Yeah,
CEOs.
tell me, who are some, because the CEOs for cities, tell me about some of these partners, because I think when people hear who you guys are hanging out with, it's, you guys are legit.
Yeah, so our CEOs for Sustainability is another network. And so we have Covestro, we have Roco, we have UPMC at the table. We have various different companies of all different sizes that are committed to championing sustainability as a strategic driver of economic growth. And when we talk about making long-term change, the fact that we have companies that want to ingrain this into their long-term strategic planning and really champion it as a value is a huge deal.
Oh, massive.
And it represents everything that Pittsburgh stands for. And looking ahead to the NFL draft that's going to be coming next year,
Yes.
these are the kinds of values that we want to be able to reflect on a global stage.
Yeah. And how cool is that? The idea that when the draft does come here to downtown Pittsburgh, which is right where we're sitting like right now, is the fact that it's our opportunity to show them what Pittsburgh is all about. For decades, we've been fighting our Smoky City thing. And I feel like that's mostly gone, but I still think it still sticks around because that was a pretty powerful brand for like 100 and something years. But the idea that we can show them how clean our city is and how our companies care about sustainability and how they practice that and being able to showcase that, I think is pretty exciting.
It's super exciting and it's very intentional, right? I think when you are spending resources to actually understand what sustainability means and understand how it aligns with your mission, and you're investing resources to champion this, that is the story of who we are, right? That's the story of Pittsburgh. It's the story that we want to showcase on a global stage, so that people actually realize that they can come here, buy houses, find jobs, and build a life here. And it's a massive opportunity. They're expecting around 700,000 people in the region, and at Sustainable Pittsburgh, we're incredibly excited because of those reasons, but also because of our programming efforts around our recognitions programs. We work very closely with restaurants, shops, workplaces, and municipalities to essentially help them do a sustainability audit, and the efforts that they're taking to decarbonize, to ensure that there's equity in the workplace. These are all things that these small businesses are championing. And when the NFL draft happens, this is an opportunity to really showcase those businesses and the intentionality behind how they're investing in this.
Really.
We are super excited about the opportunity and really ready to position and help position Pittsburgh as a champion of sustainability
Very
values.
much so. Yeah. Hey, in case you just joined us here on TechVibe, we're talking to Bhavini Patel, who's the new executive director at Sustainable Pittsburgh. And if you go to sustainablepittsburgh.com, you can check out all the different things they do. And one of the things that I loved, and you talked about the audits and things like that, which I think are just so important, because I think a lot of us, we all want to be kind to the earth as much as we can. We want to be efficient and things like that. And being able to go through a checklist and see what we can do. And sometimes there's things we can't do just because we can't. But if everyone can just do a little bit of something, it starts to add up. My whole theory is if I ride my bike to work one day a week, that's 20% less than I'm in a car. That's a 20% cut.
That's exactly right.
Imagine if we cut our emissions by 20%. That'd be pretty big, right? That's just me one day a week just saying I'm going to ride my bike to work.
It's a huge deal. And Sustainable Pittsburgh has over 400 different organizational partners that have participated in our recognitions programs. And so when you think about the magnitude of restaurants, workplaces, shops, and municipalities that are making those incremental changes, it really does add up.
It adds up.
And even if they're not able to do every single action that's listed in the certification process, the knowledge of here's where we have opportunities to improve, even that is a step in the right direction, because now at least you understand what you're doing great, what you're doing not so great, and where you can improve. And one thing that we're super passionate about at Sustainable Pittsburgh is also, connecting people. So different partner organizations, connecting them to the resources, whether it's funding resources, other opportunities, so they can implement those changes. And so really closing the loop in making sure that we're able to advance those sustainability values.
So if someone's interested and they don't know where to go, you can point them in the right direction to your partners that can help them take those next steps.
Absolutely. And that goes back to Sustainable Pittsburgh being around for over 20 years now. Through our network convenings and through the programmings that we've put out there, we've cultivated such strong partnerships throughout the Southwestern Pennsylvania region. And so our team, we are very diligent about making sure that we have partners and we're connecting people to the right sort of information that they need to be able to take those next steps. And also fundamentally, I think there's something really special about just rewarding people and rewarding organizations that are willing to take this effort, because it's not an easy thing to do. But when you are willing to take that first step, it shows that you recognize sustainability as a core economic driver for the region and that it's a good story for the region to tell.
100%. And one thing I've noticed over the decades I've been to the Tech Council, and I say that, I'm like, oh man, it's been such a long time. But I look at how so many of our member companies, which these are the leading companies in Pittsburgh, these are the folks that are employing lots of people, doing really hard stuff. And so many of them, sustainability is top on their minds with everything that they do. And I love seeing that. I've been seeing an increase in that, I think, in the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I think a lot of that has to do with the work that you guys do, because you keep it front and center. You keep us thinking about what's going on there. But it seems like it's become a point where it's not like it's just something that we do now. It's not because I'm being guilted into it or something like that, or I'm being called out or something. No, it's just, this is how people want to do business now. And they want to make sure they got the best practices going on.
I think that's absolutely true. I mean, we believe in this and we want to champion it. We continue to champion it through our programming. It's also just appealing to the socially conscious consumer, right? Again, thinking about the NFL draft next year, we want to be able to reflect those values and showcase to consumers that there are businesses out there that are doing this work intentionally. And so that's a huge thing. And for us too, we live it, right? We're based in downtown where we have offices in the Bank Tower. And despite having the option to leave, we said, no, we're going to stay in downtown because we want to be a part of this revitalization effort. All the hard work that's going in to making downtown a great place to have fun, to go to shows and go to Point State Park and grab a meal. We want to be a part of that story, and we are. And
100%.
Including championing the businesses that are based in downtown.
Most definitely. I got to switch gears just a little bit because I'm curious, like, what got you interested in doing this job? Like, you've done lots of cool things. You've had some tech startups under your belt, very politically active. In fact, you're an Edgewood Council person, which I think is great because I live in Edgewood. So I think
fellow Edgewoodian.
We're fellow Edgewoodians, and I just think it's awesome that you're so engaged with this type of stuff. So did you see this as an opportunity to really amp up what you're doing and make even more of an impact?
Yeah, I appreciate you recognizing that, Jonathan. For me, I actually served on the board of Sustainable Pittsburgh before taking this position.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it's been something that I've been following for a couple of years now. And I just think that there's something really interesting and really cool about championing sustainability for economic growth. And with everything that's happening with Governor Shapiro's investments, the $600 million obviously into downtown revitalization.
Isn't that amazing?
It's a big deal.
$600 million.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a huge opportunity to be able to talk about affordable housing, to talk about public safety, to talk about sustainability, to talk about the buildings that are going to be revamped and how we can input energy efficiency efforts into those plans. But also thinking about Governor Shapiro's Lightning Plan and the opportunities that represents. Sustainability is a lot, and it goes back to what you said, which is that it's become a way of how people view the world. It's a fundamental core value of just good living and being able to champion economic growth.
I call it being a human being.
That's exactly right.
Simple as that. And we need more human beings.
That's right.
Thinking like human beings.
That's right. And it should be normalized in that way. And again,
Right.
and when we're able to tell a compelling story about why people should care about it, we're bringing people into the fold. And I think Sustainable Pittsburgh has always done such a great job with making sustainability accessible. And that's something that I'm really excited to continue to champion in this position. It's one of the things that attracted me to the role.
That's awesome. When I saw the press release, I'm like, oh my goodness, how'd that happen?
Oh, that's fun.
I was like, that's really cool. So when we were putting together these shows here at Huntington Bank for downtown, I'm reaching out to Sustainable Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's how Bhavini stop by, without a doubt. Really awesome stuff. You've got about a minute or so left. As you just stepped into this role, you said you're drinking from a very large pressure water hose thing. Oh, anything particularly you're really excited to get really cranking on in the next few months?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things I actually mentioned.
Okay.
So number one, we're super excited to be able to participate and champion the restaurants and shops and workplaces that we've engaged with through our recognitions programs. And we're really excited about coming up with creative ways to make sure that the fan experience is enhanced as a result of those businesses that are really championing sustainability and getting rewarded through the economic sort of impact that's going to be happening in the region. So that's something that we're currently really prioritizing. And it's just such a great program because people come up to me and say, wow, you work at Sustainable Pittsburgh. I'm like, yeah, we know the recognitions programs, the restaurants, we
Great.
use that information to
Good.
determine where we're going to go out to get a bite to eat.
That's what I want to hear.
So
Very cool.
it's something that has a significant impact, and we're excited to continue to grow that. And then I think our career map, using AI for good, using tech for good, is something that I'm really passionate about.
That's what we've always known, and we think that's pretty rad. Absolutely.
So I think anything that allows us to do that, I think, is a super great opportunity. And especially when it comes to clean energy workforce development, it's a huge thing for our region to be able to champion that, the green economy, the clean economy, and making sure that we're able to create family-sustaining jobs and make sure that people get connected to those opportunities is really something that it's monumental and it's transformational. And Sustainable Pittsburgh is a part of that story.
I love it. That's why we had you here at the Huntington Bank studios, I was going to say, but actually at the Huntington Bank branch here in downtown Pittsburgh, which I just love being on the scene, having these conversations. Can't thank you enough. Tell everybody, go to sustainablепittsburgh.org. And all good stuff. We want to make sure that people go there and check it out. And of course, go to pghtech.org after that and check out all the ways the Tech Council can help your tech company succeed. And this has been Jonathan Kirsting having way too good of a time here in Huntington Bank. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody. Thanks for geeking out with us on TechVibe Radio. Tune in next Sunday for more tech and innovation stories right here from Pittsburgh. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at Compunetics.com, Chorus Call at ChorusCall.com, Highmark at Highmark.com, Huntington Bank at Huntington.com, Kindling at thekindlingagency.com, PNC Bank at PNC.com, and Savior at Savior.com. And we're always coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studios.